said Tuesday he will move the headquarters of social media platform X and rocket company SpaceX from California to Texas. The billionaire cited a new California gender identity law as the, quote, final straw. Musk, who has a transgender daughter, added the move was spurred by the law and the, quote, many others that preceded it, attacking both families and companies. With these steps, the world's richest man will have relocated Tesla and most of his companies to Texas. He changed his own residence in 2021 from California to Texas, where there is no state income tax on individuals. Musk last week endorsed Republican Donald Trump for president. Wedbush Securities Managing Director Dan Ives said there's nothing random about the timing.
I think it's political. I mean, it's happening during the Republican National Convention. Musk clearly is putting support behind Trump. In other words, we're going to see more and more of this from Musk, especially as we get toward November. And as we all know with Musk, goes to the beat of a different drum, and he's not going to stay quiet. To some extent, might even get louder.
Musk in recent years has become outspoken on politics. He often criticizes the Biden administration and Democrats' positions on issues including transgender rights and immigration. California voters have historically supported Democratic candidates, while Texas is considered a reliable Republican stronghold. Musk said SpaceX's main office would move to an existing facility in Boca Chica, Texas, while X would move to Austin. But the extent to which jobs or facilities in California will transfer to Texas was unclear.
Life was more affordable when Donald Trump was president. Our border was safer under the Trump administration, and our country was respected when Donald Trump was our commander-in-chief. Our enemies do not confine their designs to between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. We need a commander-in-chief who can lead 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. America cannot afford 4 more years of a weekend at Bernie's presidency. But let's be honest. Now, Donald Trump stands in their way, and he stands up for America. Donald Trump has been demonized. He's been sued. He's been prosecuted, and he nearly lost his life. We cannot let him down, and we cannot let America down. For decades, my home state saw elections determined by razor-thin margins. Today, due to bold leadership, the Democratic Party lies in ruins. The left is in retreat. Freedom reigns supreme. The woke mind virus is dead, and Florida is a solid Republican state.
Police are investigating the deaths of 6 foreign nationals whose bodies were found in a room in a Hyatt hotel in Bangkok on Tuesday. They are looking for a 7th person in connection with the incident. All 6 were of Vietnamese descent, including 2 Americans. Police believe they may have ingested something that killed them and that they were not the victims of robbery or assault.
Initially, from the scene inspection, there was no fight, no harm done. The property, as far as we can see, has not been ransacked. It is assumed that there was no intention toward the property and no outsiders entered, as determined from the fingerprint investigation. It is possible that it occurred from the inside, possibly a hideout, which indeed originated from the inside.
The U.S. State Department said Tuesday that it is monitoring the situation.
Whenever a U.S. citizen dies in a foreign country, local authorities are responsible for determining the cause of death.
Thailand Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin, who visited the hotel on Tuesday, has ordered a swift investigation. His office said he was concerned about the impact on tourism. It's the key driver for the country's economy. Last year, 28 million visitors spent nearly $34 billion in Thailand. The tourism sector was shaken in October by a shooting spree at a luxury shopping mall close to the Hyatt, in which 2 foreigners were killed.
For 61-year-old Sandra Catan of Argentina, high inflation and a healthy distrust of banks made buying a home complicated. With her hand-drawn blueprints and scribbled calculations, she and her husband purchased land in Buenos Aires. They paid $30,000 in cash and raised more money by selling their car and truck. Then she used a credit card to pay for materials to start building and paid workers with her teaching salary.
We don't use mortgages. We decided to build this way because we were a little afraid of bank loans. Back then, mortgages were too expensive for us and they were inaccessible. We were afraid of inflation generated by their quotas, so we prefer to do it this way.
Catan's fear of bank lenders is not unique. Economic uncertainty in Argentina has borrowers and lenders both fearing the risk of long-term credit, especially considering Argentina's track record with sovereign debt defaults and the mass protests they sparked. Pro-free market president Javier Milei is trying to turn the page and revive the local mortgage market. But buyers and real estate agents say that won't be easy.
People buying properties in Argentina come with cash, in a backpack or a bag.
Juan Berceros is a real estate broker in Buenos Aires.
Now and in recent years, everything we sell is done without a mortgage. Besides these new credits in the markets, I still don't see large numbers of sales with mortgages. Those new credits create a small change, but at least in my experience, they are not turning out in large numbers of sale closures. How are properties sold today? People in Argentina have their savings in dollars. Many people have dollar savings in their pockets.
Just a fraction of Buenos Aires residents are actually buying property. Right now, the mortgage market is tiny, less than 1% of the country's GDP. And even with new, more enticing mortgage options, bankers say most potential buyers in Argentina, where inflation is among the highest in the world, are still afraid to take on the financial risk.
At an all-time high on Tuesday after U.S. retail sales data supported expectations the Federal Reserve will start cutting interest rates soon. The Dow gained more than 1.8%, the S&P 500 added more than 0.6%, and the Nasdaq added 0.2. Investors continued their recent rotation out of some mega-cap tech stocks, with Nvidia and Microsoft both ending lower. Meanwhile, small caps extended their rally. The Russell 2000 index notched its fifth straight day of gains greater than 1%, its longest winning streak since April 2000. While most investors have cheered the recent broadening of market gains, Cole Smead, CEO and portfolio manager at Smead Capital Management, sees it as a warning for stocks over the next decade.
The St. Louis Fed publishes data called household equities as a percentage of total assets. When you look at that data set, highs in that data set are very damning for forward returns. We're at the highest level of household ownership of U.S. stocks in the history of that data set. So it's likely we either don't make money or lose money in the S&P 500, including dividends reinvested, if that data is correct. Now, is that a popular argument that I just made? No, it's not.
Among individual movers, United Health Group jumped 6.5% after reporting profit that beat Wall Street estimates. Bank of America's second quarter profit also beat expectations, and underwriting fees rose as capital markets resurged. The second largest U.S. bank also provided upbeat net interest income guidance, sending its shares up more than 5%. Charles Schwab, however, reported a dip in net interest income. Its share slid more than 10%. And Tinder parent Match jumped 7.5% on news that activist investor Starboard has a stake of over 6.5% in the company.
HSBC named a new CEO on Wednesday. As is tradition for the lender, it promoted from within, with Chief Financial Officer George El-Hadary chosen for the role. The 50-year-old becomes HSBC's third chief executive in less than 8 years. El-Hadary became CFO close to 2 years ago, and before that he was co-head of HSBC's global banking and markets business. He will replace outgoing head Noel Quinn from September 2nd after he led the banking giant for 5 years. Quinn oversaw a raft of asset sales, navigated the global pandemic, and a push by rebel investors to break up the bank. He also guided the lender to record profit. Now the new hire comes as HSBC bets on its historic Asian ties to ramp up profit. The bank has shrunk its global footprint by around a quarter since the 2008 global financial crisis. It's left low-growth markets to plough capital and resources into Asia, which makes up most of its revenues and profits. But analysts say there are challenges to that strategy, as it makes HSBC highly sensitive to any fallout between China and the West. Growth has also slowed in key market China as it struggles to drive an economic recovery. El-Hadary will also have to manage HSBC's exposure to Beijing's bad loans crisis, which led to a shock $3 billion impairment charge for the bank last February. HSBC shares traded broadly flat after the announcement.
Controversial relationship with Conor Kennedy still be causing a stir over a decade later, Taylor Swift's successful music career isn't the only reason she's often in the headlines. The singer-songwriter has also drawn attention for her heavily publicized relationships. Her album, The Tortured Poets Department, highlights her controversial dating life. However, none of Swift's dating controversies have stirred the pot quite like her 2012 romance with Conor Kennedy. Rumors about her and Conor Kennedy started in July 2012, when Swift, then 22, was seen with Conor, who had just turned 18. They were spotted packing some serious PDA in Massachusetts. A week later, news confirmed they were dating, starting a social media controversy that's yet to die down. Despite breaking up over a decade ago, fans criticized Swift for the relationship as recently as May 2024. The relationship was debated on Reddit in February 2024, with fans concerned about their age difference. Some fans found it strange for a 22-year-old to date someone still in school. Taylor Swift also raised eyebrows after buying a $4.9 million mansion next door to Conor Kennedy's grandmother, Ethel, weeks into the relationship. Conor wasn't thrilled with the purchase, finding it too much too soon. More controversy arose when Swift allegedly kidnapped Kennedy from his private boarding school and flew him to Nashville on a private jet without his parents' knowledge. Swift later denied the allegations in an interview with Rolling Stone, saying, "You can't kidnap a grown man." Just a month before breaking up, Swift and Kennedy were involved in another scandal. Swift allegedly crashed a Kennedy family wedding and was asked to leave twice. The incident added to the ongoing controversies surrounding their relationship. Swift maintained she would never knowingly crash an event or upstage anyone.
Going back and reliving these things with the fans, and this time around, I get to do things that I know they wish I would have done the first time.
Despite the controversies and criticisms, Taylor Swift's relationship with Conor Kennedy remains a topic of fascination and debate, reflecting the enduring intrigue surrounding her personal life.
C'est un très grand événement, très grand événement qui était très attendu, sur lequel nous avons beaucoup travaillé avec le préfet de région. Je veux vraiment remercier Marc Guillaume qui s'est investi personnellement pour que nous puissions être au rendez-vous et que la Seine soit propre. Et qu'à partir de là, on puisse non seulement accueillir les Jeux, mais aussi, dans les années qui viennent, se baigner dans la Seine. S'il n'y avait pas eu les Jeux et s'il n'y avait pas eu Tony Estanguet, nous n'aurions pas pu faire tout ce travail-là parce que les Jeux ont été un accélérateur.
Magnifique rôle.
Ça va?
Ça va. Elle est bonne?
Elle est super. Elle est géniale. La caméra!
Ok, là c'est comme ça. Se aprecian muertos.
adoptando personal de emergencia de rescate, adoptando las medidas de seguridad con la especialidad.
This year, we have millions of deals dropping as often as every 5 minutes through select periods across over 35 categories. We've been preparing for Prime Day for weeks and months leading up to the event, including how we place inventory and forecast customer sales so that we can be ready.